yeah, ROCCAT completely falling apart, but all credit to CLG, also absolutely capitalizing on whatever they've built up in this game. Maybe start by the picks, and of course that first lock-in for LeBlanc, and then not seeing a Syndra for Ryu, maybe a little bit scared to pull that out and going for that safe pick in Orianna.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Orianna at the moment, especially not against something like a LeBlanc, because LeBlanc will go Morel Nomicon and have this very, very big early power spike. And we saw Link basically have all the pressure. He could just push out the wave every time he wanted to, and roam. He went bottom lane, he killed someone. It was just way too easy for him to control the lane. And Orianna pick never really got to do anything for Ryu.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, while the team play was a bit sloppy on both teams' part, amazing performance by Link. Like, he stepped really out. Like, his individual performance actually carried this game really hard.
And also, oh yeah, no problem.
No
nothing.
Problem? No problem. Yeah, I just want to say,
Cut in line.
Actually Link carried this series pretty hard. Like, especially this game, like his early game pressure, he didn't do anything later on, but the fact that he actually had like 6-0 or 6 kills in the early game made it possible for CLG. And also the bot lane. The bot lane had like troubles like last game and the game before, but they actually showed why they are considered the best bot lane and completely, I would say, trashed their bot lane. I mean, they had a really good...
You can't say it.
They had a good trade at level 3, forced them base, and then the lane was over.
Yeah, I mean, it's just from level 1, the Grom fail where Vander got all the XP, and obviously the lane is over at that point against the Caitlyn top lift, and Aphromo played it super well, punished completely. Link had all the pressure in the mid lane, and as soon as we got out of the laning phase, we saw the lack of like instant engage coming in from ROCCAT here, so they could never really punish CLG if they were out of position, and Link could just run around like he wanted to, pick up targets. Like Vander died a few times to him just because he tried to face check and get some wards down, and ROCCAT was never really in the game. It just took some time for CLG to finish, but they always had the control.
Yep.
So what do we make of this now for the side of ROCCAT? Because they're rumored to, they are very, very good right now. They had a great performance yesterday. They had a great performance here in the first game. They had all the tools at their disposal. Was it just that one, CLG hadn't found their best form yet, or their right form, and that when that happened, it was over for ROCCAT, or did it just fall apart?
So maybe they're inconsistent and we have only seen the good side of ROCCAT, or actually the second game tilted them and then everything fall apart. Like, you never know. You have to see how much they do it in LCS. And I mean, ROCCAT performed amazing. Like, their team play actually showed that they're a really good team, but we didn't really see anything of that team play in like game 2 and game 3. And I'm actually like wondering what happened there. And communication broke down completely, and CLG got the superior vision control in game 2. Like, their pink ward control around the dragon area was really good, but ROCCAT picked up a lot of dragons. But just to make like picks and everything happen, like Link had really good flanks on LeBlanc, like always coming from like the right angle, like using the distortion to actually make picks happen. And yeah,
I mean, ROCCAT is a team who takes a lot of chances in the way they play. There's a lot of like 1v2, dive in, see what happens. Picks. And CLG found a way to punish them, and that's basically how, as soon as you have the first mistake going on in the game, you fall too far behind from your AD carry, it transitions to the mid lane, and so on, so on, so on. CLG just managed to completely snowball it, and ROCCAT just couldn't come back from that.
Yeah, definitely kudos to CLG, and actually Link has joined us here. Welcome and congratulations, you made it to the final here at IEM. But as we said, got off to a pretty bad start in the beginning. Was it communication issues? Was it the nerves? What went on there in that very first game of the series?
Well, that was like our first game, our first LAN, you know, like together, and like we don't even have our full roster too. So like all we've been doing is scrimming for like the past like 2 or 3 months. So it's like, oh, it's so new, and then all of a sudden we're like pressured. There's a crowd, and you know, even though it's small, like I think everyone just kind of wanted to play aggressive, but what held us back was that we had kind of like a more passive team comp and more of a late game team comp, and then we kind of like realized this, right? And that's where we picked it up, and we were like, screw it, let's pick heroes that we can make plays, and let's catch people off guard and kill them.
How has the pressure influenced you specifically? Because obviously there has been a lot written about all the changes in CLG and you still being in that mid lane. Do you ever lose your confidence in yourself when those things happen, or do you know, I still have it, and we saw that fantastically here in that last game, but does that ever get to you?
Of course, I think it gets to anyone, and even if you think or say it out loud that it doesn't get to you, it always affects us, us pro players in general, like somehow in some way. But I think what's really important is that we pulled off this win in this best of 3, especially coming back from a game 1 deficit. And all we're trying to do is like, we might lose, the finals, right? but our goal isn't this tournament. It's about LCS and winning it. So all we're trying to do right now is learn and get better as a team. And even though we have a sub on our roster right now, like I think we're performing great, and we're gonna get better as we progress through this LAN.
How was it actually to play against ROCCAT? Because the games, there's a lot of action going on, a lot of fighting left and right. For you, specifically in the mid lane, also playing against Rio, like how was it? Was it super hard to play against them? Were they very different from what you're used to, or?
I think it's like they're a good team, like, and that's like one of the traits that I kind of like that I see in common with in terms of all good teams. Rio was kind of different because I felt like they're like a 4+1 team, and Rio is kind of like, he's Korean. So the way I saw it was Rio just kind of did his own thing. And you saw him play like assassins like Ari and LeBlanc. But then if he can't do anything, and he's playing like Orianna, and you need a team comp and you need team coordination if you're going to play a hero like that, then you're going to see a lot less of him. And I felt like I didn't really notice him at all. And in fact, he just kind of died over and over again.
100% agree. Yeah. We barely saw him in the last game.
And don't get me wrong, I think Rio is a fantastic player, but when he's in an environment like that, it's really hard to do more.
Tell me more about that last game specifically, because you had such a good score in the beginning, then at the end Doublelift kind of took over because he was incredibly fed on Caitlyn, but especially the way you guys played that, because it did turn into a very long game, and as LeBlanc, you couldn't really jump in totally anymore, but we were doing a very good job zoning them.
That last game, it was kind of our fault. We were trying to figure out what we had to do in order to close out the game, and that's because they had a really strong 5v5 team comp, and we had a strong pick-oriented. Our siege is okay, but the problem is that we need to split push in order to get the picks that we needed. And you saw near the end, we kind of figured it out, and people got caught out of position, and it was just a patience game, and that's all that matters in such a a long game. You just wait until they make the mistake, and then it's up to us to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I mean, one question is obviously if Skara, how's the coaching going? How's everything in the team house? How's the environment? I mean, it's funny that I ask it because I know it, right? But just wondering, what role does Skara have, and how much did he help you prepare for this tournament?
Hey, it's not just Skara anymore. It's Skara and Tony, Zixlaw. So right now, including those two plus Matcom, they've done a fantastic job in pretty much flipping over the team environment from being really bad and down all the time. Now we're having team meetings all the time. We're all talking. We're all going out for food and stuff, and we're all on a road down to friendship and being friends and just trying to get better together, and that's the important thing.
That is fantastic to hear. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow in the final. What a great game that'll be, and we'll see if it will be versus Dignitas or Gambit. That best of 3 is coming up right after this.